Welcome back to the TKO show. Today I'm just going to be talking about some college football and upcoming games that's coming up on Saturday. So yeah, first game I see that is interesting is Kansas State versus Texas. Rankings are a little bit weird right now because they're going off the college football playoff rankings where Ohio State is 1, Georgia is 2, and all that. So I'm just going to be saying the rankings that are that are in front of me. I'm pretty sure these are the college football playoff rankings, so that's what I'm going off of because I really don't feel like pulling up the AP poll. But yeah, first game is Texas, Kansas State. Texas is 7th, and Kansas State is 23rd. Honestly, I have Kansas State winning that one. I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Texas plays down to their competition. They always play at the level that their competition is at, and I think that's what they're going to do against Kansas State as well. So, yeah, I do have Kansas State winning that one, but I do think it will be close, but still Kansas State's winning that one. Next game is Ole Miss versus Texas A&M. Ole Miss is 10th. Texas A&M is not ranked. I do have Ole Miss winning this one. Texas A&M is a good team, not a great team, but they have the ability to still upset some teams. But I still have Ole Miss winning this one. Ole Miss has just been looking really good, and yeah, that's really all I have for that. Next game is Utah, Arizona State. Utah is 18th. Arizona State is not ranked, and they're 2-6. Now, I think Utah will end up winning this game, but I do think that Arizona State will be able to keep it close. They have played some pretty decent opponents and kept the game at least semi-close. USC, it wasn't a close game against USC. They kept it close against Washington and Washington State, who are both great teams this season. And I feel like they can do the same with Utah. Keeping it close, I don't think that Arizona State will win. I do think they will keep it close, though. So, yeah, I have Utah winning that, but barely. Next game is Florida State Pitt. I do have Florida State winning this one. I'm not as confident in Pitt anymore after that Notre Dame game. I thought they were a lot better. They got showed up by Notre Dame. So I'm going with Florida State in this one. It wouldn't surprise me if Pitt came in with an upset, but Florida State has been on a roll. Jordan Travis is playing amazing with 2,100 yards, 18 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions, playing amazing, and that Florida State defense is really good this year. So I do have Florida State winning that one. Next game is Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. Oklahoma's 9th. Oklahoma State is 22nd. Honestly, I don't really know who I have winning this one. I'm kind of leaning towards Oklahoma State, but I don't want to bet against Dylan Gabriel. That's a bad idea. I don't know. This is kind of a hard one for me because Oklahoma State is not a terrible team, but Oklahoma is still a powerhouse. I have to lean in favor of Oklahoma. This will be a good game, and I feel like it definitely will be close. An in-state rivalry game is always close, no matter who the teams are. It's usually close, I should say. But yeah, I do have the advantage to Oklahoma, and I do see them winning this game. It will be narrow, though. Next game is Kansas, Iowa State. This will be a pretty decent game. Iowa State's not a terrible team. The only game that I watched was against Iowa. They played well, but Kansas is coming off of a massive win against Oklahoma. So I do have Kansas winning that one just off the basis of being so jacked up after their first win against Oklahoma since 1997. So, yeah, I do have Kansas winning that. Next game is USC versus Washington. Washington's 5, USC is 20. Yeah, Washington's winning this one. I don't know if it'll be close or not because USC, they came back after being down. I don't even remember how much they were down by to Cal at halftime. It was like 49-28 or something like that, and they came back and won the game 50-49. But they lost to Notre Dame 48-20, then lost to Utah 34-32. That makes me a little worried for USC and a little hard to predict on how this game will go. I do think Washington's winning either way, but I don't know how close the game is going to be. So I am still going to Washington, though, and I do have them winning by a pretty good margin, at least 2 touchdowns. But, yeah. Next game is LSU versus Alabama. LSU's 14th, Bama is 8th. I don't want to bet again. I don't want to say Bama's going to win this, but LSU has a terrible defense this year, and Alabama will take advantage of that. Bama's winning this game, honestly. LSU's defense hasn't been great, but Alabama does still have to find a way to stop Jalen Daniels, whatever his name is. Jaden Daniels, that's what it is. They still have to find a way to stop him, and that LSU offense is so good this season. So, yeah, I do have Alabama winning this one, though. I don't think it'll be super close, but that LSU offense could keep them in it. Next game is Georgia versus Missouri. Georgia is number 2. Missouri is number 12. I do think this will be an interesting matchup. I was wrong last week on the Georgia-Florida game. I thought Florida was going to upset. I don't want to bet against Georgia again, but Georgia is going to lose at some point during this season, especially in their last 3 games. It's Missouri, then Ole Miss, then Tennessee. One of those 3 teams is going to beat Georgia. Georgia Tech's not going to beat Georgia. I don't even think that's a question that Georgia Tech's going to beat them. But one of those 3 teams will beat them. I feel like Missouri definitely has a chance, but I don't think they will. So, yeah, I do have Georgia in that one. I do think it will be close, though. But, yeah, moving on to the last game in my game of the week. And I know some people might disagree with me, but this is my game of the week, and I think it'll be a great game. Is Penn State versus Maryland. Penn State's 11th. Maryland's unranked, but Maryland's a good team this year. Maryland has beaten... Well, actually, it's coming off of 3 straight losses. They lost to Ohio State, which they were expected to. Lost to Illinois by 3. Then lost to Northwestern 33-27. Those aren't terrible losses. Yeah, you don't want to be losing to Illinois or Northwestern. But still, those aren't terrible losses. And they played well against Ohio State. And they've been able to show that they are a good team. And I feel like they are a really good team. I just don't think they can get over that hump of beating Penn State. Penn State has such a good defense and a pretty good offense as well. So, yeah, I do have Penn State winning that one. I do think it will be close, though. But, yeah, that's all I have for you today. I will see you next time. Peace.